Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Tiara Syifanida from International Program on Science Education from the University of Education. And today I will be doing a presentation for the Trends in Science Education course. And I will be talking about HOTS, higher order thinking skills. What is higher order thinking skills? Higher order thinking skill is a cognitive strategy which is connected to the Bloom taxonomy, and it requires skills such as critical thinking and problem solving. And why is it really important? It's because it's not only encourage the students. It encourages the students to not memorize, but also to remember and to understand it further. So I will get to my first journal that I have analyzed and summarized. So the first journal is on teaching strategies for promoting higher order thinking skills. It's a case of secondary teachers, and I forgot to mention that my here I'm trying to improve higher order thinking skills in students. So this is one of the ways to improve, which is with the teaching strategies. This is from the Malaysian Online Journal of Education, and then it's issued in October 2015, as you can see there. So the first is the introduction. So the literature review, as we know, that HOTS is essential for effective learning and to form a central core for science education. So from the literature review, we can encounter a problem. We can find a problem, and that is these higher cognitive skills are activated when the students encounter familiar problems, uncertainties, questions, or dilemmas. So the teacher will have to have familiar problems for the students, right? And so this have to be activated in the classroom. That's the main purpose here. And the research purpose is to teach higher cognitive skills in the learning of science. And is there any difference in the teaching strategies by the science teacher, years of experience, and gender? So that are the factors that will affect the teaching and learnings in science to improve the HOTS. So the next one, I'm gonna move there, is method. So this journal is a cross-sectional study design, and the researcher used a questionnaire method to collect all the data from the science teachers. And also, the study is conducted among 7th grade science teacher in Duhok City in Iraq. And they use a software that's available here. The link is www.rawsoftsamplesize.html to estimate how many sample of the teachers. So to collect that data. And the data collection is by questionnaire, which is distributed to 212 7th grade science teachers, and the participants were asked also about their willingness to participate in the study. So they know. And the data analysis, they use statistics such as t-test and one-way ANOVA. So here are the results and discussion. The results that we got here: collaborative learning, inquiry strategies, encourage students to have a higher cognitive skills, right? And so we know here we also find out that what type of learning style that um, that encourage the students to develop a higher order thinking skill. And okay, so the results also contribute to the body of the knowledge and investigation strategies used by science teachers in teaching science. And this is demonstrated to the through the assessment. So the teacher also know what strategies are good to use here because they've used a couple, right? And in conclusion, based on the results, I think that it's best for is that the ministry could hold a specialized course, since now they know what is the weakness and the strength, right? By doing this study, they would find out what is best for their students. So there's a couple of different teachers from different schools, but they didn't mention. So now by doing the study, the teacher will know the positive and negative, but they use a questionnaire, so it's time to for the teachers to also reflect on what strategies they use. So here they could held like special training and things like that to improve the teaching strategies to increase the higher cognitive skills in students. So thank you, and to the next journal review. The next journal review is on the focus on the students now, uh, which is the effects of using concept mapping for improving advanced level biology students, lower and higher order cognitive skills. But here we're just going to focus on the higher order cognitive skills. And this journal is taken from the International Journal of Science Education, 2014. So, um, so higher order thinking skills or cognitive skills have been flagged as an area for improvement based on biology students' performance in the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, CAPE, short for CAPE. The 2011 CAPE results revealed that the percentage passes of chemistry, which is 81.39%, physics, 93.42%, and biology, 80.90%. This is for Unit 1. So as we can see here, we have identified the problem. So the problem is that usually for biology, and in my experience too, for biology we get the lowest because most students memorize in biology and not understanding more into the concepts and things like that. So here we are trying to make the students understand more, not just by memorizing. And yeah, so the next is, so we have identified the problem, and the research question is, does the use of concept mapping as an alternative assessment strategy result in any significant difference to students' performance on, here we're going to focus on higher order thinking skills items. So to increase the percentage, we are trying to they are trying to use concept mapping to make the students understand more. And the second research question, what are the experiences of students and teachers when concept mapping is used as alternative assessment strategy in advanced level biology classes? And the next. Okay, so the study employed is a mixed method and embedded experimental design, where the qualitative data played a secondary and supportive role to the quantitative data. The research population includes students, which is studying advanced level biology. And the concept maps is used as a revision tool and a teaching tool for the teacher also. And it will be assessed, and it is going to be carried out individually in groups, and is just like a basic class exercise in the lessons. So here, I forgot to mention that the method, they do a pre and post test. So they do it at the start of the year, I believe, and at the end. So for assessment also. But they applied it in their classes, not only like at the start, at the end. So in the process of learning. Yeah, just to make sure. Okay, for the results discussion, the control students' performance on the items of HOTS is significantly higher than the experimental group. So, where is it? So the concept mapping group is, as we can see here, is significantly higher than the control group, right? And the teachers saw a positive impact in teaching and learning of the using the concept maps. And also there is also positive feedbacks from the students, which I will yeah, and there is positive impacts from the students, which is they have a lot of fun doing the concept map, and they understand it more. I'm going to check. One second. Just in case I get something. Okay, that's true. So there's a positive impacts in the students, and so it has increase in the post test, right? Because it means that they understand it more. So understanding will actually make the students understand better. I mean, do better in the post test without memorizing it. And the last one, the conclusion, the impact of the use of concept maps is very promising. As you know, there are positive effects, and the students are able to improve and transfer their knowledge. Here, the important part is when you understand the knowledge, they will apply it to everyday life situation, which is very helpful, and it will be a skill for the future work, or once they get out of school, they're able to uh, think and solve problems by using the um, knowledge they have. And therefore, we recommend, and I also recommend, that the teacher explore the use of concept maps in teaching biology. Especially biology is a tricky subject to understand for students, as I have said before. And this will help. For the third journal review, the title is Improving Higher Order Thinking Skills Among Freshmen by Teaching Science Through Inquiry. So here we are focusing on the one learning strategy to improve higher order thinking skills, which is inquiry. And it is from the Eurasia Journal of Mathematics, Science and Technology Education in 2014. Introductions. For years, um, for years, science teaching, including the teaching biology, consisted of the scientific facts and theories. So that's pretty kind of boring for the students also. And as well, nowadays they try to apply science as inquiry, with inquiry. So this is a transition from what is it like, the theories and scientific facts is on traditional teaching method, and we are going to move on to inquiry, which is a bit more not just giving the students material. So not material transfer, as you can see in the PowerPoint, not only material transfer, which is the most important thing. Yeah, so the research question is, does the use of case studies and scientific research articles contribute to students' ability to use higher order thinking skills, as seen in the ability to identify, control, plan experiments, and draw conclusions? So the method, pre and post questionnaire construct of 3 tasks. So there will be 3 tasks, pre and post questionnaire. And also they will be interviewed, only selection of students though. They will be asked, what do you think of this method of classroom teaching? Did you feel any difference between this and other teaching methods? How did you assess the various strategies used during the teaching of the course, and did you like them? How did the teaching methods used in the course help you? And for the results and discussion, so the students, the study found significant effects of this learning method on developing HOTS among the study participants. This effect was reflected in the improvement among the study group from the pre and post test, and may indicate some effects of the intervention. Here we can clearly see a difference in the increased number. There is an increase in the number of correct answers. So we can see that the students' post-test has improved from the pre-test. And also from the data of the interview, the I didn't put it here, but I'm gonna mention. So the it said the student, since the students is already uh, in higher school, right? High school. They said that it improves their ability in knowing in dealing with scientific text, and also their analyzing skill. Um, Also, they said that the inquiry method is much more interesting for them, probably because it involves the more, not only material transfer, as I have said before. And also, it brought them closer to their daily world. Because this is inquiry, so they will much more learn much more about the problems they face in daily life. And for the conclusion, based on the findings, teachings, science using inquiry, um, it is an effective method to change and innovate learning uh, and teaching of science. So we need to know that the era here is improving. So us future teachers will have to also improve. So next to the next journal. Okay, so the last journal is improving high level thinking skills by development of learning and um, problem-based learning approach on the learning mathematics of for senior high school students. And this is from the International Education Studies, and is published by the Canadian Centre of Science and Education. But I think the study is done in Indonesia. So, um, introduction. Failures in school mathematics are largely associated with teaching traditions that are not in accordance with the ways most students learn. So, um, and the traditional methods of teachings are not effective. So there are, as you know, that mathematics is a tricky subject to do, and it requires higher cognitive skills. And um, here there are a lot of failures. That's how this is, I think this study is inspired. And the goal is that they need a learning model that can improve the students' mathematical problems and solving ability in high school, secondary high school, which is senior, right? And the goal is problem-based learning model uh, will be used to construct higher level thinking skills. That's their aim here. So the method they use is the development method that which is refers to 4D model, which consists of steps, namely define, design, develop, and disseminate. So here the figure one, I will be this is the method, the outline of the method. So the students have a syllabus, right? I think they use the curriculum 2013 from Indonesia. And when we teach, when the teacher teach what is on the syllabus, they would have to take into account the cognitive development and of the students. So here we are going to use problem-based learning to improve their cognitive development, which is higher order thinking skills that we are focusing on. So here, the researcher made a learning media, which is the high school book for this is 11th grade students, and a CD of learning. And so the researcher will try to to apply the learning media in their day-to-day learning. And here are the targets to improve higher order thinking skills and to create a math book for the grade 11. So the results of and discussion of this. So the researcher went to 3 cities and 4 schools. The first one is SMK Negeri 6 Medan. So here there are 5 percentages that I have plotted here, and the first one is the sentence in the book is easy to understand. So 89% of the students think the sentence in the book created is easy to understand. 68% of the students in SMK Negeri 6 Medan said that the sentences does not have double meaning, so it's straightforward and they wouldn't have misconceptions. They would have misconceptions, but it reduces chance of misconception. 92% the display content of the book is very interesting. The problem and 84% of the problems in the books vary. So not only one problems, not too easy for them, but it's a challenge for them to do the math problems. 59% of the sentence in the problem is easy to understand. So there are easy and it's variative in terms of questions. And as you can see in the other results, it's kind of doesn't really have a pattern, but it is all above 50%. So I think that this is a good way to the book is actually helpful for the students in helping, and it's very interesting, which is good for the students. So the student if it's interesting for the students, usually they will understand it and be very motivated to learn. So in conclusion, this study creates a teaching material in the form of mathematics books of 11th grade in senior high school students and teacher's guidebook, where is included the structured steps of mathematics problem solving to construct high-level thinking. The results of the trial show a significant improvement in the students' mathematical problem solving ability and higher order thinking skill. And that is all for my presentation of the 4 journals. Thank you for listening. Sorry if there's any mistakes or if there is um, any words that I said wrong. That's all for my presentation. Thank you. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.